we'll jump in straight to questions. Ellis, get us going, please.
Yeah, Dave, I wanted to ask you about a couple players in your class, your portal class from Tennessee, Krenzel and Manny Marin.
Yep.
Obviously, two really talented guys who are probably haven't panned out in their careers the way that they had planned so far. What did you see in both of those guys that made you think that they were dudes that you can maybe build this class around a little bit? And did you maybe talk to some of your sources over there from Tennessee and get a little info on them?
Yeah. So like Krenzel, in our opinion, obviously out of high school, man, he was recruited by everybody. Big kid, didn't have a good year. We feel like he's going to have a really good year for us. He's already here, been working out, throwing bullpens, lifting, getting after it. Sometimes you just need a change of scenery, different situation, different maybe pitch philosophy or whatever the case may be. So a lot of potential there. Got some experience, some toughness, and excited about that. And then Manny Marin, I mean, he's one of the best shortstops in the country, and he played third base for them. He's played short. He's played second. He's been in and out of the lineup the first 2 years he was there. Um, I think again, just maybe we've got to tweak some things. Pitch selection is one of them, and he hit 290, and his pitch selection has got to get a lot better. And if it does, watch out. And what you get is you get someone with 2 years experience in the Southeastern Conference that can really field and throw, and the bat potential's there. And hopefully, we get his best year. And I'm hoping that, being with us and, the way we run things defensively, that, he'll continue to elevate his game. But again, you're getting an experienced player that has been through it at this level.
From a starting pitching perspective, I can't remember a year where you guys have had less set in stone going into a year because you usually kind of know at least one or two guys that are probably going to have a chance. How long do you think that list is of pitchers that you would seriously consider for a weekend starting type of role? And who are some of those guys that you kind of initially see in that mix?
Well, I think the list is, obviously when you go into fall, it's fairly long because it's wide open. Um, as far as losing a lot, we did. We've been losing a lot the last couple of years. I mean, you look at this year's team, we had a good team. Might not didn't have a great team, but we had some guys do pretty well. I mean, we ended up having a lot of guys sign for a lot of money. When you take a step back, I think we had you know, we signed for the second most amount of money of any team in the country, and behind Georgia Tech, and Georgia Tech had one player get 9 million. So, maybe you cut that in half, we pass them. But so we lost a lot of players, we lost a lot of pitchers, and we have to replace those guys. So obviously we went to the portal to get a couple of guys. I really don't want to mention names right now because I don't think it's fair because I'll end up leaving somebody off that is probably going to be right in the middle of it. But we went and got a few guys with experience. We have some guys in our program with experience. We had a couple of guys that were young that went out and pitched this summer that did really well that will have an opportunity. So fall will be, there'll be a lot of different, I guess, guys will get a chance to start this fall. It won't just be like 4 or 5 guys and the other guys are all coming out of the pen. We're going to rotate them around and give them that opportunity. And then, we'll be playing some outside competition. They've moved that up to four instead of two. So I know we have three already. We'll see if we can get another one. If not, we'll do a couple of, I guess, organized. When I say organized, more of a later night scrimmage with our team to make it more game like, and try to make it where they get a really good feel for, let's say, a weekend type game.
Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Dave. As far as players who you felt like were retainable, like who weren't obvious draft picks, how did you feel you came out of the draft?
I feel great about getting Souza back. I mean, obviously he could have signed professional, even coming off the shoulder injury that just really slowed him down. You think about him, and I've talked to Nolan since mid-season last year about this year's draft coming back, trying to get him back because I really believe his better year that is right in front of him. when he's healthy. He didn't play at the very end of 25. The team that went all the way late into Omaha didn't play all summer, didn't play all fall. Spring starts, and it took him half the season to get the arm right. It still wasn't 100%. Same with the bat. I feel like he was really starting to swing it really down the stretch for us, and getting him back and working out some things with him to get him to come back was really big. And then, TJ Pompey, who's maybe the best athlete on the team, swings and misses too much. He knows it. Can play anywhere. Could play outfield. Could play infield. Hit 15 home runs. Really never got thrown out stealing either. Both times he got thrown out, I think he slid past the base. He was safe and then out. And so, great base stealer. If we could get him to come back, and that started evolving right after the season ended, talking with him before he left to go home about it. I didn't think we would get him back. And I think he wasn't going to sign just to sign. He wanted to make sure he got a decent amount of money. And the rules changed a little bit. Now you have 5 years to play five, give yourself another little bargaining power year, come back, have a great year. So we're excited to get those two position players back. And, you know, obviously Root Bar and some of these guys that have some experience, and then bringing in a few kids, and there's a few good freshmen that, probably thinking, well, you didn't have any of your freshman class sign professional. Well, 7 or 8 of them could have signed if they wanted to sign. They wanted to, some kids turned down some pretty good money and priced themselves out. And, that's good for us. We'll see how it turns out.
Shogo Miuchi went public with his commitment to you last week. I wonder what's the intrigue level for you to see him pitch live here when he gets on campus in a few weeks?
Yeah, I'm excited to get him on campus. Big right-hander with a couple of different type pitches, a slider and a downer. You look at the metric of the fastball, it's, what a lot of right-handers throw, 80 or 92, 93. But he's big, he's young, he'll get better here. We just have to be able to communicate a little bit. And, that'll be something that we'll really work on. And we're planning on, we've got a few things up our sleeve there. And, I don't know. I look forward to seeing pitch in person. I've had the opportunity to coach with Team USA a couple of different times. I know that the team for us that was always the hardest to beat was Japan. They're just so well coached, and the discipline of their hitters, but their pitchers were just different. They're hard to hit. And so imagine there's a little bit of that in there, just the way he's been coached through, growing up. And then, Coach Hobbs got to see it firsthand this summer when he was with Team USA, and they actually played in Japan. So just kind of anticipating it with a open mind, and let's see what he can do. And I don't want him to feel a lot of pressure. Just come in and be one of the guys and get better and help us, and we'll help him.
I think I've got you at about 40 or 41 players in terms of players who are coming back or publicly committed. Does that sound like that's going to be about the size of the fall roster to you?
Yes, right around there, anywhere. Right now, I think it's 41. It could go to 42, might stay at 41. Unless, it could go to 40. We still have a couple of guys that could sign a free agent contract if they want to. So that's right where we're at. It's the DSAs that don't count against your roster. We've still got some of those. So makes it better for fall practice and to be able to scrimmage, have inter-squad type games, and and then development, bringing guys on. Guy gets better that maybe might not even been on your roster because you couldn't, and they end up playing for you. So it's a good number.
I'll let you go ahead.
You mentioned that roster could go up to maybe 42. Are y'all still looking at portal guys, or kind of what does that look like?
Always looking. Portal guys that maybe planning on going to a lower level school, or there's always something out there. So we're still looking. Don't want to say a whole lot.
And with Shogo, just how does a guy like that come up on your radar? Like, does his people put it out there to all these American colleges, or kind of how did that emerge?
Yeah, the way I hear It's Bobby Wernes was the one who, was really in charge of that, so to speak, and stuck with it. And basically, his agency, it's a new agency, been out there a couple of years. They're trying to really help kids, get to the United States to play from wherever they are. And it was one that we thought might be able to help us, and it sounded like that he truly wanted to come over here and that he might not sign professional contract over there. And so we hung in there with him, and give Bobby the credit for that one. We got him.
And you mentioned there's still guys that could sign professional free agent deals. So like was the signing deadline that was yesterday, was that only for the draft guys, or is there another deadline for
You
free
know,
agency?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure. So I may be wrong there, but I guess in my mind, I'm thinking free agency, they have a little bit longer, but I may be wrong.
Gotcha.
And come back around.
All right. Hey, the recruiting cycle opens for the junior class, I think, at the end of the week. You signed 11 this last high school class. Is it going to be a bigger class this year? What are you guys looking for in that class of whatever this would be? I guess 28.
27 class.
Well, I think it'd be your 2028 class that you're starting to
Oh,
recruit.
so you're talking about, yeah, our 27 class, which we love. I mean, those kids getting ready to be seniors. That's still in the works. Things happen, kids fall off they don't make it. Some kids get better and better, and nothing's signed yet. Nothing's that's why I thought you meant 27. The 28, yeah, I mean, we'll contact them. It kind of depends on a lot of things. Who do we like in the 28 class? But how does this fall go with the class we have in here now? And then the 27 class, and you're kind of, the DSAs are starting to fall off the board, so your roster has to be at 34, walking in the door in a couple of years. So it's still a work in progress. I mean, we went through a list yesterday for 7-8 hours in here of all the kids that were playing at some of the events over the last couple of weeks, and just try to narrow it down a little bit on who we're going to contact and who's going to contact who. But yeah, I can't put a number on it. I can't really get it close yet, because, it might start out this big and it shrinks. It's just go after the best players and what you need. And then you see some things in the fall that you didn't think you would see for the good, and maybe it gets a little smaller.
Do you think 11, like you had in this last class, is that going to be what high school classes start looking like size-wise, or do you think that maybe is just a small class for you guys based on the situation you're in?
Yeah, I think high school classes will probably get smaller. I think it'll be different from year to year, but I don't think you're going to see teams, signing 18 high school kids anymore in the fall, or 20, or I don't know how you could make it work. Yeah, that's a tough one.
You said you had 3 teams lined up to play this fall. Are you ready to say who those are?
I don't think so yet. A couple in-state schools, maybe a Texas school. That's what we're on right now.
Do you think they'll all be here, or are you willing to travel somewhere this fall?
We're gonna do them here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do now. Put some, make it a really neat event where, we run it like a game day.
Now I want to ask you about Jackson Kerser. I think you got a chance to watch him pitch up in Massachusetts a few weeks back. Did you see anything different in what he's doing that's causing him to have the type of success that he is?
Yeah, we were just talking about Jackson a minute ago in a meeting. If you look at his number, I think he's thrown like, what, 17 innings, or I don't know, he struck out 17 in 10 innings. It's been great. But the walks are down, the strikeouts are up. Yeah, what he's doing different is he's throwing a lot of strikes, and his stuff's good. He's got good velocity. I think more than anything, he's pitching with confidence. And, I talked to him for 20, 30 minutes before the game, and, just kind of could tell that he was enjoying it. I think he's got something to prove. You can just see it. He's got a little bit of that edge, and I love that. Looking forward to him coming back and having a good fall and being right in the middle of it next year for us.
Dudley, go ahead.
You mentioned the freshman 7 or 8 that maybe could have signed. That's a really talented freshman class. Talk about some of the attributes just overall of that class, and you're probably going to need a few if they can go ahead and contribute.
Yeah, we plan on some of these freshmen helping us, and we want them to help us. We want to build our team around freshmen from year to year, and I think that's the way to do it. It's the sustainable way, the way it's going right now with all this movement around and financially and all that it entails. It just doesn't seem like something that can go on for years and years. I think high school kids and building around them, it's tough to win championships maybe with 4 or 5 freshmen on the field, but you got to have a few help you. And they got to play here and there. They got to pitch. Might have a special one that can pitch for you on the weekend or play for you every day. But sometimes that just takes time for them to get their feet on the ground and get acclimated and do what they can do because they have the talent. But I like some of I like the potential of some of the position players. We have a couple outfielders that have power. They're athletic. They're big. On the mound, we've got a few freshmen in here that the freshman pitchers, they come in early and they go to school second half of summer and they start working with strength and conditioning coach Hunter Bell, I think is the best in the league. I mean, he's amazing. I watch him and there's intensity and he just cares about him. And I see these guys just flat getting after it. Then the transfers start coming in. The returners are here. We've had our pitchers in here getting after it for a month. And as we sit here talking, they're down there working out in the weight room. And it's loud and it's proud down there. I like it.
I think I've talked to my wife, Patricia, into taking a workcation to the Cape next year. The talk about that league and how much it just helps them, and in guys that you talked about who maybe didn't get the as much opportunity or as much success. It gives them the opportunity to build during the summer.
Yeah. So the Cape, if you go back, the Cape maybe 10 years ago, it might have been stronger because more of the kids that were really good going into maybe getting ready to be a junior, they would go to the Cape and they would stay there all summer. Now the Cape, it's a little younger because a lot of coaches don't want their pitchers to go out and pitch in the summer, rest their arms, whatever. Position players go out. They only want to play half a season because they just played 65 games. They want to do well in the fall. So the league maybe has gone backwards a little bit on the strength of the league. The talent's good. It's a little, but like I said, it's younger. So you get kids that have just finished their freshman year, a lot of times that are going out there and playing. They didn't play a lot, played a little, whatever, but they get out there and all of a sudden their talents, that you can really start to see it come out. They start getting confident. They're away from home, a long way away from home. And, there's not a lot else there's not much to do out there except fish and eat fish and play baseball. I mean, that's kind of what you do. So I just think it helps them grow up, mature, and come in with some confidence. And then they make that big jump that sophomore season. Because I say it all the time. It's usually the biggest jump I see kids make from freshman to sophomore year, just because they're more comfortable. And I think the league helps them get comfortable when they go back to their universities and they just play better.
One last thing for me. I know that you would love to have some of these guys back, but how proud are you of a program record 12 getting drafted and some of them becoming rich young men now?
Oh, yeah. He's super happy about it. I look at Ryder Helfrich comes in here and we're like, yeah, this guy's going to be really good. Didn't hit for an average as a freshman, but we started hitting him, but catching him in the midweeks. But we knew he was going to be our guy. And then obviously last year as a sophomore, he's really good. And then the junior year, he's even better and hit for power and played every day for the most part. And that's 20 points off your batting average easy right there, just because you're a little tired, legs are a little tired, you hit some balls. and just, Kojal, think about him, come in here and we come in second on him out of high school. We end up getting him a year later. And then, man, he had a good year and maybe played out of position, but he did the best he could. And he actually did a really nice job playing short, hit for power, hit for average, great leader, strong. Just, you couldn't ask for anything more. I could go on and on. We had 12 kids drafted. Easily could have been 14, which would have been kind of blown our record out of the water and been the most in the country. I think we finished one behind maybe Georgia Tech. But the two that we got back they could have signed too. And they both turned down money and priced themselves out. And we got them, some help, and people want them. And it's just been good. But 14 could have been the number. 12 is a great number. Super proud of it. And I think it's what we talk about when we recruit. We talk about you come in here, you're going to get better in development. Hopefully they have a chance to sign for a lot of money and hopefully win a couple championships along the way and be a lot closer to getting that college degree. And I think with pretty much everybody that signed, that's exactly what happened.
Appreciate you taking time to do this, Coach.
Yeah.
Ellis, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I was wondering about Brenton Clark. I think some people may not realize how big of a role he was going to have for you guys in 2026. And what have you seen from him? And with the timing of his injury, should he be able to hit the ground running going into the season?
Oh, yeah. He'll be ready to go. Now, as far as throwing, I don't think his throwing will be 100%. Pretty tough surgery on a throwing shoulder, and kind of where Souza was maybe on the throwing part. But offensively, been swinging the bat, lifting weights, strong. Last year I felt like he probably would have been a starting corner outfielder. And, if you go off of what he did in the fall, his on base percentage was way up there. Took his walks, got his hits. He has pull power. He can hit home runs. He can hit balls on top of that building in right field. And I'm sure he will, but I just want him to be an on-base guy, score runs. But I think he'll be right in the middle of it to play every day this year. And, looking forward to finally going into his third year, have an opportunity to get on the field.
Last guy I wanted to ask you about was AJ Vasco. Seems like one of maybe the biggest variables in the draft going in because he was a guy that had a ton of interest, lit it up at the draft combine. Just what have you seen from his game that made him such an intriguing prospect, and how big of a deal was it to get him through the draft?
Yeah, I don't know in alphabetical or in order. I don't know which question to answer first. It was all of the above. Huge to get him here, and to the point where I sent two coaches up to talk to him and his parents a couple days before the draft in his house. Talk about it again in person, how much we need you, how we can help you, how you can help us. You've played 2 years of college ball. You got 2 more years of bargaining power. When you're 6'6" and you hit left-handed and you hit for an average, but you still only hit 6, 7, 8 home runs, our sell to him is we want him to hit 15 to 20 home runs. If he drops an average a little bit, that's okay. His bat to ball skills are really good. So basically when he swings the bat, he hits it. He hits it fair. Want him to take more pitches, pitch recognition, lay off those sliders down. And, we talked about Aloy, how when he was a sophomore here, he swung at a lot of stuff. His junior year, really cut down. Batting average went up, power went up, won the Golden Spikes Award, signed in the first round. So it was big to get him. He was one of those guys that, that everybody would love to have. And, for us, he can play corner outfield. I guess he could probably play first. I don't plan on that. So we're excited there. Malky was a guy that we had to get to. We had to get in the pitcher. We had to get one guy with a lot of experience. And he was a guy that everybody in the country wanted because his pitch ability is off the charts. Spinning that breaking ball, those little carry fastball. When you see him on the mound, you're going, well, he's not as big as some of the guys we've had in the past. He's 6 foot tall, maybe. Maybe that's a big maybe. But he's good, and I like him. He's got a lot of personality. He's been here for 2 weeks getting after it. And, we need that type of guy. And we got a couple other pitchers that are right there too that maybe don't have quite as much experience, but they got a lot of experience at their freshman year or both years. So you got to have those guys that have experience to mix in with the returners and then the freshman class. If you can do that, We just got to get them to gel together, and we got all fall to figure it out, and a little bit of time in the spring, and hopefully be playing our best baseball the second half.
Oh, it's back to you.
Yeah, Coach, you're just talking about Brenton Clark's shoulder and not being able to maybe throw right away. Is that for fall ball? Like, do you think he'll be good to go once the season rolls around?
Yeah, and he'll throw in fall ball, but it might not be the arm strength that he's going to have. Is he pain free if he lets it rip? I don't know yet. He's in the throwing program though right now, and he's throwing the ball, at a pretty good distance. But you never know until they get out there and there's a runner on second and they get a base hit to them and they got to throw the ball to the plate, and just see how they let it go. But yeah, by springtime, I think what it is what it's going to be. So vice versa, he's going to let it go, and it's either going to come out of there or it's not. I don't think once you get that far down the road that it's going to make too many big jumps. But you never know. Like Souza right now is a year and a couple months out from his surgery, and I think he's just about back. And you never know if it's going to come back, but he's excited about it. I've watched him throw out from my office. He's out there letting it go, and man, it seems normal now.
And a couple of guys positionally, I'm curious about, Carter Rutenbar. We saw him play a lot of spots, but he was listed as a catcher. And then Javorsky Lane, one of your incoming freshmen, is a guy that's been listed as a catcher, outfielder. Where do you see kind of those guys playing for y'all?
Yeah, Carter. First off, Carter's had a really good summer in the California League, and he's played 4 or 5 positions for them. He's caught. He's played first. Played outfield. He's just a baseball player. I see him catching. I see him playing outfield. We could put him at first. He's not 6'3", but if he gets his glove on it, he usually makes the play. And he did a tremendous job for us this past year when we just threw him in the fire. Hey, come take some ground balls. Looks okay. Hey, by the way, we play Mississippi State Friday. You're playing first base, because that's basically what happened. Moved Cam over, just made some adjustments, and we won the series. And we won some games in league play too. So yeah, I see him just being right in the middle of the lineup. I think they're hitting him first or second most of the summer, and they like him a lot.
And then Javorsky, just kind of where do you see him positionally?
An outfielder, more of an outfielder. Yeah, that's what he played in high school. He played center and corner outfield, and they had a really good center fielder there too as well. Could really run, and Javorsky's a guy that everybody thought he would sign a year or two ago, and as we did probably. Senior didn't go maybe as great as he wanted it, but it's all in there. He's got to come in here and work hard and be one of the guys, and hopefully we can help him develop and take a step forward. He's got tremendous bat speed. He's got some power. You can watch the videos. So we just teach him all we can, and have him play the game hard, play it the right way, and he'll be a really good player.
And last one for me, I know you've referenced a few times about last year's draft where you thought you had a shortstop in the portal. Things happen, you weren't able to get them. This year you lost 3 guys you had committed, but were any of them necessarily surprises, or did you kind of okay with how it all played out?
Yeah, I mean, we had a sophomore draft eligible that really wanted to play pro ball, but we tried to make it really hard for him not to. We even visited with him late again, and I think bottom line, he wanted to make sure that he had a chance to play pro ball, and he thought maybe this is my chance. I better go, even though he would have had next year and the year after. And it's okay, if that's what he wanted to do. But so we kind of knew there. And then, our California kid, he was planning on signing. We brought him in. He loved it. And I think it was 50-50. And then it was more our way. And then, you just communicate. And then we knew that he would probably sign. We thought he should get more money than he signed for. Good hitter. And then the one pitcher, I think Diaz, he's loved him on his visit. Great guy, great talking to him. They end up paying him pretty good, and a little bit older. So I think I think it hurt him to sign. I think he really wanted to come, but it is what it is. But yeah, we thought he'd probably sign. So we didn't get blindsided like we did last year. somebody tells you they're going to ask for what he told me and or the parents told me, and then for what he signed for, that was kind of shocking. So we deal with it, but we've got some guys in here. We got Marin. Marin was draft eligible, put his number way up there, way up there. I think he wants to play college ball another year and have that year, and we want him to have that year that we all hope. So we'll see how it turns out.
Madden Dudley, close us out, please.
Hey, it looks like ABS is going to come into college baseball next year. After seeing it in Hoover, do you like it?
I can tell you this, because we first time ever around it in Hoover, it was run so well. It was quick. It was almost fun. You could see a little bit of a friendly conversation between the umpires and the catchers. Like they threw their ego out the window. I loved it. And, you could even kind of jab the umpire a little bit because I know them all now. I've been around a little bit. And, they'd even admit, man, I'm getting my butt whipped by this catcher right now. I got to start getting better. It was fun. But I think it'll be interesting to see. I mean, you're talking a cost to get all this lined out in your stadiums and facilities, and then how quick and who's running it. And I don't know. It'll be interesting on that. My fear is, that the pitchers are extremely good in our league, and they're hard to hit in the SEC, and sometimes it's really hard to score. But if the zone gets too small, because it used to be too big, and now if it's too small, I guess, I don't know. You got to be able to call that pitch on the corners, or the games could get a little crazy. The length of the games was a problem a few years ago. So then they put this clock in, and now we have this. I don't know. We'll see how it goes when you get away from a venue such as College World Series or, SEC type tournament where they can run it and they got the people to run it and they know what they're doing. But when you go on the road and you're at this place or that place, I don't know. So I'm still a little leery. I love offense. I don't want guys to get cheated out of strike three either way. But yeah, I don't know. I'm going around and around on it right now mentally, to be honest with you.
Is the expectation you're going to use TrackMan for this, or is there a different kind of equipment that's going to be installed?
Yeah, I think it's going to be both. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know 100% on how we're going to handle this. I think maybe they'll let you use whatever you've got right now, but down the road, they might want everybody to use something a little bit quicker or better. So it needs to be, to me, it doesn't need to be one way at one field and another way at another, and they don't read the same way. I don't know. I don't, you just don't want to see balls that are 4 inches off the ground and they're calling them a ball and a catcher says, hey, I don't look at that. And then it's called a strike. And then here we go. You're like, no way. And I don't know. The catcher needs to be relevant back there on how he handles pitches and how he makes them look. And I don't know how I feel about it yet.
And then a couple that I think are going to occur in SEC play are these MLB rules, related to disengagements and not being able to change a pitcher every batter. What do you think about those and what those might do during conference play?
Yeah, I mean, if it's in that situation, it's all the same for everybody. So the rule's the rule. It's not I don't know, it's not electronic, so to speak. It's just the rule. You can only pick so many times. You got to throw so many hitters, whatever they put in, whatever the final decision is on everything, then I'm good with it.
And then one more, the bigger bases. How do you think that changes the game?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I mean, the double base was fine, I thought, but the big leagues weren't using it. So, I guess we got to go to the big base. So, or we're going to, I don't know. We have I think our coaches meeting in September where we all head over to Birmingham and sit in there and talk about it. It could be longer than normal meetings, and everybody's going to have their opinion, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. So we can just get it straight and move on.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Dudley, finish it off, please.
You bet. First of all, do you have a date you might start fall? And also, hey, is Judah like Nolan Souza, or talk about him a little bit?
Yeah. Fall day right now, it looks like it's going to be official fall practice starts maybe on the 9th of September. And then I think our last day we could officially go would be around the 23rd, maybe of October. And that's maybe a week longer than we've gone in the past or close. And we might use all of it this year. I think we might need it. And then Judah is physically, he does not look like a freshman. Tall, 6'5", I don't know, 6'6", 6'5", probably, like 220, and hits left-handed. You know, he got a lot of power, and I'm excited to get him in here. And that's another one. He could have signed. They wanted to sign him. Not too many kids that look like him that hit left-handed have the kind of power make it to college. Now when he gets here, we just try to continue to help him develop and be able to hit off speed pitches, recognize pitches. That's usually the case with anybody that's powerful. It's about swinging at strikes and swinging at a good pitch early in the count, that type of stuff. And the sooner they learn that, the sooner they play a lot.
Thanks.
Coach, thanks for your time. We'll see you on the field in September.
Okay. See you guys.